Okay guys, it is Rescue the National Desk here on WViDesk 2016. Rest of you, and of course the SoundCloud on rescue.com and soundcloud.com, episode 268. And welcome back to the show, Bryn.
Did you miss me?
Yes, we all missed you. We all missed you.
Thank you.
It's been it's kind of like we went dark for a while and then just didn't do a show, and then you broke your face.
Yeah. Yeah. That did happen.
And then the website went down.
Hurt.
Not good. You could have, like, you know, if this had been like back in the day, you would have had like a video camera, and it would have been like was it Thrasher or
Live Leak and one of those.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely what happened.
That would have been cool, man. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm sure there's traffic cam footage of it somewhere.
Maybe somebody didn't have it, like, taking a selfie and you're just in the background.
Yeah. Just let me take a selfie.
Yeah, man. But crazy week in wrestling in general.
But it's been crazy. Like, I mean, since we've been off, it's just been crazy.
Do you know what's hit the fan? Now, before we get into it, though, with the changes here, we're on Friday nights at 9 p.m. We're repeated on a Saturday. I think it's at 4 or 5. I'm not 100% sure. And then this show is going out. We're recording it at like 6:30, and it's going to go out at 11 o'clock tonight. From next week, our show that we record on the Friday, or whatever is on a whatever show goes out on a Friday, will be repeated on the Saturday, unless we decide to do something live. It will be you and me, or the International Desk, and then on the time slot on the Monday, that will be given to rescue.com to do whatever they want to do, because Adam wants to do like a pay-per-view recap show. When he can't do it, Doug's going to do a 3-hour. You know, it's pretty much like a grab bag of whatever was in the Rest of You Radio Network back when that was a thing. And because we won't pump out 3 shows a week.
Oh, that's a light load off my mind anyway.
Yeah, because that's just, you know, even though we love the fact that we're on 3 times a week, it's fantastic, it's really cool. But, you know, I think for everyone listening, having the same show 3 times is a bit much, and at least this way you guys will get fresh content. And the fact that now I'm officially ending the PayPal
search
fund
thing
for the website. So the website's no more. Maybe next year I might bring it back. But, you know, whatever, there's not a demand for it, so it's not going to be there. However, the good news is all the shows that we've done are all backed up.
That's good.
Adam has all the stuff from the server backed up. I have my own backups. So what I'll do is I'll start putting the interviews and kind of best of shows up on the YouTube. So if people want that directly, the best thing to do is to go over to YouTube, WViDesk 2016, subscribe there. And that's where you'll get not only like the full show that we do every week, but also past shows and clips and interviews and that kind of stuff. Because I think that's a good way forward. And then, you know, if you want just the actual download, there's a download to every show we do in the video as well. And that's from archive.org. So you guys get it. But the best way to do is support the show directly. The PayPal link is still there. You can donate WViDesk 2016.
Our Patreon's still online.
Patreon's still online as well. WViDesk.com, I think. You know, spread the word of the show. Get people to listen on VXFM, and let them know that we're on 3 times a week. Where else are you going to get 3 shows for free on FM radio about wrestling? You're just not. It's just not going to happen. But so that's everything that we had to get.
That's the housekeeping.
Did I think from what was it, Family Guy? Housekeeping.
Oh, Consuela.
Yeah, Consuela.
I know.
No,
you bring the lemon pledge.
No. You know when Peter does it, he's like, "I come in anyway."
Oh yeah.
It's just, oh man, it's so good. Yeah, it's I finally have Sky back in my house.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's some red line we got on.
yeah, peaks so bad. But no, like in my room, because I didn't realize you're able to have the Sky app through the PS3.
Oh, the Sky Q thing.
Sky Player, but it's through the PS3. You know, PS3 is a fantastic piece of hardware, and so I can just watch Family Guy now, because on FX it's on from like 12 to 4 every day, and like, why not? I'm gonna sit and watch Family Guy and American Dad. That's great. Cleveland show sucks though. That is a bad show.
Yeah,
it's a bad show and it's not fun.
No,
and it's just like, I like Cleveland,
but he was never able to carry his own show.
No, like, he was always kind of a bit player. Anyway, it's like giving a show to Quagmire.
Yeah.
This wouldn't work. Joe would be interesting.
Joe might work, but could also fall on his face.
Fall on his face. Like, I think you might get one season out of him and that'd be it.
One really good season though.
It would be a good. It would be like Freakazoid. It'd be an amazing season.
Well, Freakazoid was 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's my point. Season 2 was a drastic drop in quality from the first season.
Well, it could be like the Oblongs, which deserve to get cancelled, but like the Oblongs was great. It's the best show that ever deserved to get cancelled. It's one of my favorite shows ever, but oh boy, did it deserve to get cancelled.
I need to see that. I haven't seen it, so I'll check it out.
Any show where the main characters all have physical deformities. Oh boy, wow. Yeah, it's great. But it's got Will Ferrell and Billy West in the voice acting cast.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing. Check out the Oblongs, everyone. It's awesome.
Also, I want a season 2 of Undergrads.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
I'm happy enough with the 1 season of it, though, to be honest.
Well, the fact, I don't know, the fact now that one of the main characters is a huge Star Wars geek, kind of topical, makes sense. Yeah. 60 Days to Rogue One. Yes, cannot wait.
I can.
No.
I absolutely can.
Why? It looks great.
Because it just looks like every other action movie that's come out in the last year.
But it's really Star Wars.
So?
I'd rather see that than anything with Finn in it.
Yeah, that
I
doesn't.
Can't stand him. And
that's fine.
I don't like Mary Sue either.
That's absolutely fine, but it does nothing for me. I loved Star Wars, but I haven't loved Star Wars in a very long time.
I still love Star Wars. I don't like Disney Star Wars.
The last time Star Wars was good in terms of cinemas, Metallica were a good band. So
dude. Well, hold on. Episode 3 was good.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, dude. It
wasn't.
Episode 3 was great.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one, but no.
It's Empire.
Yeah, it's Empire, but bad.
No, Empire, Revenge of the Sith, and there you're good.
No,
you have the original Star Wars, and then Jedi, and then you can watch without them.
No.
What's your deal with Revenge of the Sith? It's great.
It's overly long. It's not it's overly long.
It is.
It overplays every single little plot point to absolute drivel. Almost half the cast are barely acting. The other half are overacting to all effect. The only one who's actually doing some kind of a job is Ewan McGregor, and that's it.
Great.
He is great, but he's the only good thing in the film.
I like your man who plays the Emperor, Ian McDermott. He's good too. Count Dooku was really good. Christopher Lee.
For that 5 seconds he's on screen.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's really good.
Oh man, I'm just gonna have to agree to disagree. It's just
the fight scene. The fight scene is really good. The raid on the Jedi Temple.
Which fight scene was really good?
All of them are really good.
No, don't think so.
It has the longest sword fight in cinematic history.
So, the fight scene from Phantom Menace was better.
It's true.
That's the thing. It was so long, but Episode 1 had a better fight scene. The worst Star Wars movie had a better fight scene.
Attack the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair.
That movie's almost irredeemable. There's so many problems with it. I think Attack the Clones...
Attack the Clones is great if you don't see the Anakin stuff at all.
Yeah.
It's
if
great
if they cut that all out, actually, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And I will say, for anyone who's a Star Wars fan, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, what's it, the Phantom Edit? No, not the Phantom Edits are great, but there's the Dark Side cut, which is done by Topher Grace.
No, I never saw that one.
Yeah, I have it.
The Phantom Edit was really good too.
The Phantom Edit's really good, but the Topher Grace cut is literally all the prequels in one 90-minute movie.
Yeah, so that's pretty decent.
It's really good. It cuts out the majority of it. The majority of it is made up of Revenge of the Sith, but it starts. The first part of it is the fight scene at Naboo.
Yeah,
and it weaves all the way through it. And it's actually a really nice, cohesive movie, which is probably what the prequel should have been.
There's a guy called Hal 9000.
Right.
Who, that was his screen name. He did the fan edits for the 3 prequels.
Yeah,
I can't remember what he called them. They're really interesting. The way that he edited them is really interesting. For Phantom Menace, he basically did a really careful editing job with Jar Jar, because it was very hard to cut Jar Jar out of the film.
He's pretty much in the whole film. Yeah.
So he changed him from being this insanely irritating half-wit of a character into just being this fish out of water type of guy who
Right.
like, he makes social faux pas because he's never been to Tatooine before.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that
Which
kind of
probably
thing.
how it would have made more sense.
Yeah,
That's right.
and like he just comes across as like a believably bumbling guy rather than being insanely dumb. So,
Although,
like,
I don't know if you've heard about the Snoke theory or the Jedi theory, where like Jar Jar was supposed to be a Sith Lord all along.
I really love that idea, but I don't care.
I wish they actually just did it because
Yeah.
but
But if they did it, if they're going like, oh, but like I want them to like Jar Jar, well, tough. They want them to like they don't like him. Might as well make him bad.
yeah.
Like,
Well, the whole theory was
that's just standard booking. Like,
you know what the ring theory is, right?
well,
There's a good article online where all the Star Wars movies mirror each other.
yeah,
So they all kind of feed into the same narrative and hit the same beats.
yeah.
And Jar
Kind of
Jar
go for like a Wheel of Time type of deal.
kind of, but like every beat in each of the movie links up with another part of the story. So in a way, Yoda was really a really annoying character.
Yeah.
And then they revealed he was like the best Jedi ever.
Yeah.
Jar Jar was supposed to be that, but for the dark side.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
But then, but there was so much bad reaction to it, they bolted at the last minute, and
yeah.
now it makes no sense. But no, I will defend the Revenge of the Sith because I think it's great, and I also defend Saint Anger. Come at me, bro. Saint Anger is great.
Saint Anger would be fine if it wasn't for Lars' drumming, but then again, that's the problem with almost every Metallica album. So, like,
well, a fan edit actually. There's it's a hashtag Saint Anger 2015.
yeah,
Really
No, I've
good.
heard it. It's
yeah,
great.
it's great. Yeah. They literally remade it from the ground up.
yeah.
Because the songs actually aren't terrible. Some of them are really good. It's just that
They've
drumming.
got some of my favorite Metallica songs are on
yeah,
that album.
It's
But
weird.
like,
You can't listen to the
it's-
original.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just. But like Lars is Lars is a really bad drummer for someone who's got so much fanfare behind
It's
him.
weird. He goes from being a really good drummer to being a terrible drummer.
But his drum sound has always been bad.
But there's no consistency. Like, and Justice for All, his drumming's incredible.
Yeah,
And you're like, Masked Puppets, great drumming.
Mm.
What happened? How did you forget how to play drums? It's like, do you just not care?
Oh.
Yeah,
I think you might have hit the
That's
nail on the
probably
head
what
right
it
there. I think you might have hit the nail on the head.
But
Right.
like, he can drum, he just chooses not to. It's like, what are you doing? He's the John Cena of metal.
Yeah.
Can work well, but just chooses not to. That's probably what it is. Oh man. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
That segue into wrestling after
After a long interlude.
is that our biggest tangent ever?
Might be.
Okay.
It might be, yeah.
We didn't even bring up video games.
No.
Jeez
no.
Louise, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, well, where to talk about this?
Okay, so like
Okay, hold on. Right. Some background, right? Because we have some new listeners.
yeah.
Okay. So, Rusty. People are asking who's Rusty. Okay.
Rusty is a bad boy.
Rusty's a bad boy. Rusty's the reason why we haven't been on air. He interns for us sometimes.
We
but
thought we were getting a great deal on a great IT guy.
no. Well, he messed it up.
When I arrived in one day to absolute horror to find, I don't know how he got it, but he got those big cartons for drinking coolers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got one of those of Tizer. I don't know how he got Tizer, but he got Tizer, and he spilt it all over the server room.
Yeah, well, that's what happened.
His explanation was, I wanted to see what would happen to the blinky lights.
Poor Rusty. Well, look,
Rusty.
Well, that's what we get because his CV experience up to that point was TNA.
Yeah.
He was working in the office, working in the back room. And
He had a great reference from Dixie, though.
That's
Great reference from Dixie. In hindsight, I think she just wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I still think once Derek Bateman comes back to WWE, that's when we'll offload him. Be the best character ever. I don't know. But
Gilbert for the modern age, I'm thinking.
I'm telling you, that could work. That could get over.
Yeah.
But for a bit of context, Rusty is our vehicle to get EC3 over as the most likable heel ever.
Yeah. Next to Kevin Owens.
And
Chris Jericho.
But boy, man, TNA.
Yeah.
They're They are not having a good time. So, okay, the last show I did with Adam, there was rumours going around that WWE was going to buy the tape library for TNA. And it seemed like that was a locked deal. That was pretty much confirmed.
They're going to buy them for, like, I think $5 million.
$5 million, yeah, that's what.
Which is about 4,999,999 euro more than I would have spent on the tape library.
Well, the plot thickens because then it went quiet for a week.
Yeah.
News broke that Billy Corgan, the president of TNA, was suing TNA.
Yeah. Because he wanted to be the junior vice president.
Apparently it's because of allegedly, we're going to have to use that word a lot, allegedly, for money's owed.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Okay, guys, really quick, if you've noticed, change in audio, that's, very perceptive of you. We've had to move from the studio to the home studio, so, as Bryn said, welcome to the world of tomorrow and Skype. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Bryn, where were we? We were talking about TNA and what a mess it was. So, pretty much it went...
Glorious mess.
Glorious mess. So pretty much it went from... they're like $5 million in debt.
Yeah.
WWE, the story was that they were going to pay the $5 million, or something anyway, it was an undisclosed number, but that's what it seemed to be, for the tape library. A week later that fell through, there was nothing further on it, and then we got the fact that Billy Corgan is suing TNA, that the production company for last year's Bound for Glory still wasn't paid, allegedly. So they're suing TNA. And also, WWE have apparently withdrawn from buying the tape library. And this is because, one, the reason why that $5 million price tag is there is because that's how much money they're in debt. And WWE would have to pay that. So I don't think they want to get there. And apparently there's another company, the company that I believe owns part of the Fight Network. They own a bit of tape library now already. And that's apparently part of the money they got back so TNA could do their Bound for Glory show. So right now it is raining you-know-what on Dixie Carter and TNA because it's just one mess after another. And this comes on the heels also of apparently last week's episode of Impact. Nearly didn't air because he didn't have the rights to play the music for Zema Ion and someone else. Yeah. It was a last minute job too, so they were literally going to air and he had to cut it out, so.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So you're getting your wish, Bryn. You're seeing them epically fail in front of your eyes. But what do you think about the whole TNA thing?
I mean, they kept just trying to stay alive when they were doomed to I mean, the thing is, it would have been great if TNA were actually an alternative, but those dreams died a long time ago. Like, if the company had gone out of business, like the first kind of time the death knell really started ringing was around 2012 or so,
when they started struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, once the Hitler of wrestling, aka Hulk Hogan, and Eric Bischoff destroyed the company, bled it dry.
Yeah.
It was pretty much done.
That was the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
if it had folded within 6 months of them being out of the company, it would have been more merciful.
Yeah, what's happening? Pretty much what happened was TNA forgot who TNA was, they forgot what they were, they forgot why people liked them. All the while...
To be fair, though, there was a 2-year period before they got there where they were forgetting that identity anyway. Yeah. It wasn't like they were just... It wasn't like Hogan and Bischoff showed up and then they just completely lost the idea of what their identity was. No. They had 2 years where they were losing it, Yeah,
no, definitely. As soon as Kurt Angle pretty much came in, that's when it changed.
Which is a shame.
It's not Kurt's fault. Some of the best matches in TNA history were at that run as well. But the point is, TNA still kept being an alternative to try and be somewhat different to WWE. But as soon as Bischoff and Hogan came in, the six-sided ring...
That was the alarm bells, like.
Well, the alarm bells was that first show when the six-sided ring was gone.
Yeah, and they called it a playpen.
And it looked like a WCW house show.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's when people should have been like, okay, this is bad. This is really bad. You know, something's got to change. And it didn't. It just got worse because they had marginal success. Then they did the Monday Night Wars thing, and it was more like a Monday Night skirmish.
Which, the crazy thing was that at the time they did like what, a 1.6 or something?
Yeah.
Like 1.6. That's not much worse than what Raw is now.
That's what Raw's drawing now, yeah.
Yeah. Like if they've been able to kind of keep that kind of a thing going until now, they might have actually been a competitor domestically for WWE.
Well, see,
crazy.
Well, here's the thing. TNA were supposed to be like Ring of Honor. They were supposed to be like ECW.
No, the thing is, they were supposed to be a WCW, but the problem is that they had a Ring of Honor level budget.
Yeah,
and they didn't realize they had a Ring of Honor level budget.
Well, see, when they were good, they were great because they were Ring of Honor with money. And then when they tried to get bigger than Ring of Honor with money, that's when the wheels fell off, and they tried to be like WCW, and that just did not work. But the problem with that was as well, where you had two things happen at once. You had viewership declining because it was moving away from being Ring of Honor and becoming more WCW, which people didn't want.
Yeah.
And then when that didn't work, they're like, well, let's try ECW. And then that made it even worse again, not because, you know, the ECW guys are really expensive, but because they weren't drawing. It was just a money pit that just didn't go anywhere.
It was like when they tried to be ECW, it was just like everyone just going, "We got this 5 years ago with ECW and WWE. We don't need this again. Like, why are you doing this?" No one wanted, like, no one was craving for ECW because of what WWE did, and they still went, "Oh, we'll try it anyway." Like, it's a shame. It's a shame that like they just never seem to kind of capture what they needed to get as an idea for like what their image should be.
Well, see, look, even, and this is some inside baseball, even up until 2 years ago, Dixie was still trying to find out, she was asking us what TNA should be. Like, and I mean, not us, like, I mean, like, the wrestling media, and this is, like, the print media, so guys from The Mirror and myself from The Sun and that. She was asking us, like, what did you think of the show, what should TNA be, and that really should be a conversation you're having with guys in the media. You know, it's a conversation you'd be having in the boardroom.
But the answer to that question is still really simple. Be a wrestling show. Be an entertaining wrestling show where things make sense. That's it. If you look at any show and why it's well liked, it's simple. It makes sense. It doesn't matter. You can look at anything. Why are reality TV shows so that have such a huge viewership? They're simple and they're simple. They're easy to follow and they make sense. Simple.
Yeah. Well, look.
Look. Again, even looking at The Wire, same thing. Yeah. It's simple, easy to follow, and like.
Well, look at the biggest angles of all time. Are the biggest promos of all time. You know, a big shout out to Solomonster. I did listen to his show before we recorded this, so check his show out. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Solomonster's like literally one of the best wrestling podcasts out there right now.
He really is. He's fantastic. But no, he's doing this thing right now with the countdown for the best promos of all time. And this week he was talking about CM Punk's pipe bomb, and you know. That is a great promo. I can't believe people hate it. You know, they probably hate it because of what happened afterwards. But
but it's also being like a hipster and just needing to be like, look at me. I don't think this thing that everyone likes is good.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing about that is, you know, the reason why that promo was so good is because, one, it was simple. It's incredibly simple now when you listen back. You're like, okay, you know, he is telling a story, but it was infused with interesting elements. You know, when TNA tried to do something like that, you ended up with AJ having a mystery wife and a baby, and then Samoa Joe with a penis on his face getting kidnapped into a van, and just stuff that didn't make a lick of sense. Okay, a match that I love but everybody hates is the Last Rites match.
Yeah.
In TNA, which is a reverse casket match.
Yep. Because I love doing those reverse matches.
Yeah, it's literally like a reverse casket match. Instead of going into the ground, it goes up into the rafters. It's as dumb as it sounds. But that's it, like TNA had all this money. They had Spike. They had probably one of the comparatively, pound for pound, they had a much better roster than WWE had for a long period of time. And you see that now. Like, look at WWE's roster. It's all made up with those TNA guys,
Well, I mean, like, even before, like, if you went back, you'd say, like, since probably around 2012, I would have said the WWE roster was head and shoulders better.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that's
maybe 2011, but certainly from 2012.
Yeah, like, as soon as the money started to dry up, and you had people leaving, but the death knell for TNA, of any chance of TNA, was AJ. Yeah, once AJ left, that was the real death of TNA. TNA stopped being TNA then because AJ was TNA. Guy? Yeah, well, he was TNA. He was everything that company represented. He was the work ethic, the ethos, the difference between WWE. Like, even look at it now, people are saying, "Oh, look how great SmackDown is. Look who their champion is."
Yeah,
that's why. That's the TNA style in the mainstream. But that's the difference. He's unlike anybody else. He's phenomenal, and it's not just a moniker. And that's why I love TNA. I would still be a fan. I want them to succeed. I don't want them to die, but they are. They are literally a walking corpse right now, and they're millions of dollars in debt. Like,
I wouldn't want them to die. Like, I've heard people say, like, oh, but like, it's a good chance for people to get paid and stuff. It's like, they're not paying people.
They're not. They're not. That's it.
I would be lamenting these guys going out of business if they, like, if just like circumstances were different. But the thing is that, like, they've treated talent and, like, backstage staff horribly. They've had every chance under the sun to make something of themselves, and they haven't. They're essentially like they're like I think it was Joey Numbers from Wrestling Soup said that they're essentially Amy Winehouse for wrestling, but they didn't get to go out on top. Instead, it was a slow, painful death.
Yeah, like like, here's the thing, and the reality is, ECW probably would have went out the same way.
Yeah.
Eventually it would have just kind of weaned off, because ECW lost all its talent, and then bang, the bankruptcy took over, and there was nothing to cushion the fall. For some reason, Dixie's able to cushion this fall really, really well. And
but just loan sharks.
I don't know. I don't know how.
Loan sharks.
Like, there's obviously something, because everything's allegedly, we don't know, but all we can talk about is what Meltzer's breaking and what the Observer.
What's Meltzer's saying?
Pretty much, like, he seems to know more than everything else, and everything he said so far is on point. All we know is that WWE were going to go in. It looked like the deal was done, and because of the way the finances are and how murky everything is, it's pulled. Like, look, guys, to put this into context, it's so bad right now that literally the president of the company is suing them. Your own president is suing your company, and it's, come on. That's ridiculous. Like, if that was a wrestling angle, people would be like, this is stupid. But it's not. It's real life, It's absolutely insane.
Just even sadder.
Yeah, like, even as, the jokes that Paul Heyman is really bad with money, ECW wasn't as bad because it never lingered on that much.
Like, Heyman even said it in an interview a couple of years ago. Do you know how much funds were defaulted from from ECW.
I think it was 1.5 million, wasn't it?
It was 7 million.
7 million, okay.
Do you know how much TNA is in the red? Went in the red every year for 4 years.
How much?
7 million a year.
Wow. So they've been dead pretty. They've been on life support now for 4 or 5 years. And it's obvious. You look at it. Once they lost that Spike deal, that was it. That was their major source of money behind Panda Energy. And look, I have to hand it to her. Right, Dixie may be completely incompetent in a lot of ways. She is a very nice lady, and she must be a magician, because imagine being able to make millions of dollars appear from nowhere is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I don't know.
Ocean finance.
Ocean finance. Oh wow! But no, that's it, man. It's crazy. So we will keep an eye on this as it develops. It's a breaking story. We'll probably come on Friday and be like, hey, Rusty has burned.
TNA's alive again.
TNA's alive again, or Rusty has burned it to the ground or something. But
yeah.
it's. I never thought that it would go this far. I can't believe that it's still around. That they just will not let it go.
Unfortunately, they're like Matt Hardy. They just will not die.
Well, here's the thing, right? Billy Corgan is the president now.
Yeah.
If he buys the company, he will inherit all that debt.
Yep.
So I don't think he wants to buy that company now.
No.
There's no value in it, because once the tape library is gone, that's pretty much the major core value. That's the major asset of TNA right now. And a big chunk of that is owned by someone else. So WWE can't even buy them out. So the only thing that can happen now is that, maybe they get lucky and it sorts itself out. But it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. And when eventually WWE do buy the tape library, this documentary is going to be amazing, because we will know what happened. We'll know the background finances of it.
The really interesting thing, though, as well, is do you know what a huge amount of their bills are? Who their bills are supposed to be sent to?
Who?
IRS.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Did you hear about that? It is. Yeah. Okay. Again, allegedly, but not really, because it is a thing. TNA, apparently, the assets can be seized in Tennessee. That's something that's right now. So TNA are involved with a lot of litigation. Again, allegedly, all that kind of stuff. But you can Google it and check it out. The bottom line here is, I don't know how. I just don't get it. I always thought if they were in the red so much, eventually they'd have to close the doors, because money is still you're just hemorrhaging money, and they owe back taxes allegedly and all that kind of stuff. It's insanity. It's pure insanity, and I just don't know how Dixie's doing it. I honest to God don't know how she's doing it.
And yet I know people have been denied for their student loans.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's all I can think of when I hear how much they owe.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you owe 5 million. You're compared to someone who's overdrawn by €20, and that's it. It's
I know people who were denied mortgages. How?
It's amazing. It really is. But that's the weird world of wrestling, folks.
Yeah.
And so we'll keep an eye on the story. Keep an eye on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, where we post everything on this. There was a big article I'm going to post on our Facebook page now, which you can check out everything we've said, because that's pretty much where I'm getting all this information from, and from Salamonster's amazing breakdown of it, which you guys should check out right now. Salamonster sounds off a really, really good show, and he does a whole big segment on this as well. Okay, really quick, wrestling itself, the actual product, it's amazing. It's a crazy week when the world of wrestling, the business side of wrestling, takes up more of the show than actual wrestling. But that's just where we are right now. Bill Goldberg is making his debut again tonight here in WWE on Raw, man. I know you're not a big WCW guy. I am. I was never a big Goldberg guy, but I have to admit I'm kind of excited to see this.
The only thing that I really hope happens, just because it would put a smile on my face, I really hope. I saw this on kayfabe news, and I know it's fake, but I really wish that the fans would start chanting Ryback at him.
Yes, that would be incredible.
It would just make me so happy. That or Gilbert.
I would love Gilbert to come back. That's who I'd love to come back. I think that'd be great. Feud with Heath Slater.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
But no, what did you think of Paul Heyman's promo on the whole thing?
It's nothing against Paul Heyman. I mean, Paul's a great promo, but like, I find it impossible to get into it because I'm like, I don't care about this match. It's literally
why. Okay, can I ask why?
Because the last time they fought, it was terrible.
Yeah, dude.
And now they're older.
Dude,
so how
much but they didn't care last time.
Oh, because Brock Lesnar's really been putting in passion projects the last couple of years, hasn't he?
Come on. It's slightly better. It is slightly better. He's at least he seems like he cares this time. And Goldberg seems like he cares.
He cares because they're paying him and he doesn't have to work house shows. Of course he.
Well, there you go.
He's content. I wouldn't say he cares.
Yeah, well, that was compared to last time where he wasn't even content and just wanted to get out of there as quick as he could. You know, so I prefer that.
Yeah.
Now
I don't like. I just see this as like a match between two famous guys for the sake of a match between two famous guys. I don't like. I mean, I don't even know if it's actually going to like fill up. Like, if people are going to want to pay to see it, I wouldn't pay to see it.
Really?
Like, no. Like, I really wouldn't. But then again, I mean, there's really not that many matches I can point to off the top of my head that I would pay to see in WWE right now.
But see, that's the thing. This is one of the only matches that actually still has money. You know, it's still going to draw. Because, look, people like you and I who watch wrestling every week, who do wrestling podcasts, who write about wrestling, etc., etc., we're kind of like, oh, all right. You know, we're kind of over it. But to the average person, you know, Goldberg, while not being a Stone Cold Steve Austin name, is still a name which we haven't seen in WWE, a name bigger than Sting, which was shameful. But I think, you know, this won't be a title run. I wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't be a title run. But like, I mean, not everything has to be.
I wouldn't mind if it was a title run. To be honest with you,
but like, it doesn't have to be, and it doesn't need to be, so it shouldn't be.
Really?
Like I'm trying to think of a way to put this. Like, it's like I don't know. Like, how many old WCW fans are still watching wrestling?
It's not that. No, they're not actively They're not actively watching. They're not.
And would go like, oh, I'm going to pay to see Goldberg now when it's like
probably
14 years since he last wrestled.
Probably. I would say a few would probably watch it. You know, but the weird thing about it is I don't know why they're not doing it at the next pay-per-view. They're doing it at Survivor Series probably, and that makes sense. You know, I would have rather they did it at WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, but at least it is a big show. You know, it's one of the big four.
It's interesting how they're starting to kind of trying to push the idea of big shows again.
Yeah, I love it, man. I think it's great. You know, and Survivor Series looks like it's going to be one of the shows with the inter-promotional matches, which is really cool. So, like, I think it's good.
How long has it been since there's been an important Survivor Series?
Too long. Like, one thing that I wish they do, and I know I'm not the only one saying this, War Games, man. Why not just have some kind of War Games thing? You know, or design something. Have 2 cages, 2 rings, and just do it. Call it something else. Call it Battleground.
I'm not sure if they're going to do the whole 2 rings thing because it affects their attendance so much.
Well, they could do it. They could do it like, you know, some kind of new cage design anyway, and have the same rules.
They could, yeah.
It's something that I know a lot of people would watch. It would be literally that one show, and it would make sense. The sole survivor, personally, and I'm going to say something really controversial here. I hate, with a passion that burns with 1,000 suns, the traditional Survivor Series match. I find nothing more boring than that. I hate them. I really do.
I think they're poorly worked most of the time now. Yeah. I mean, it's been so long since there's been an elimination match that actually made sense. Like, in the time I've actually been a wrestling fan, there's been good elimination rules matches, but not a traditional a traditional Survivor Series match that I would consider to be great. There's been ones I've enjoyed, but like, I mean, that SmackDown versus Raw one from 10 years ago, or 10, 11 years ago, I really enjoyed it, but like, even still, wasn't a great Elimination Rules match.
Yeah, but see, you enjoyed it because it had stakes, like...
Yeah.
I think they're a relic of a bygone age that needs to go away compared to other...
Again, if it has stakes, and the worst thing about those matches is that people eat pins for the stupidest of things.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one a couple of years ago where I think it was a Divas match where a girl ate a pin for a friggin' arm drag of all things.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's so unimportant that it just doesn't mean anything. So instead of having, a really high tense match, you have 3 or 4 guys disappearing in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, but again, like if you have those kind of matches go, like a 5-on-5 eliminations rules match should go 45 minutes.
Yes,
it just should. It should just go 45 minutes.
It should be, it should be one of those things that's very slowly built up, not just thrown away at the last moment.
But like, it's one of those things where like you can have someone like get a DQ or something, and that's fine. Like, to have someone be eliminated. But like, god damn! I mean, every elimination should mean something in the story that's told in that match.
Yeah,
it's like even the one where Dolph won a couple of years ago, that was good, but that was good because of like the story that was told.
Exactly. It had a story, which, you're not looking for a 45-minute classic, but you are looking for it to mean something. Really quick, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get back into this conversation right here on Phoenix 92.5 FM, the rest of you International Desk, here on Monday night. Alright guys, and we're back. This is a pre-recorded show, so the text line isn't working. We'll be back this Friday night. Of course, welcome to our new listeners listening on the rest of you SoundCloud and joining us on YouTube as well. Guys, remember you can email us WViDesk2016@gmail.com. You can tweet us WViDesk, or of course, Facebook is the most direct way to reach us, WViDesk. Rest of you International Desk on Facebook. Either one will get you there. Alright, Bryn. Now, again, I agree with you, man. Survivor Series needs an overhaul, but at least out of everything, at least this year, we'll have some match that has some kind of feel behind it. There'll be 2. There'll be the main event of Brock and Goldberg, and then you'll have the interpromotional match, which is cool.
Well, the interpromotional match is.
Or matches, yeah. They'll probably have a women's match as well.
It's going to be a women's match, a tag match, and a singles, and a men's match.
You know what that is, though? That's literally the match card for the WrestleMania in Raw vs. SmackDown 2006 at the GM mode. That's what it is. That's a great idea. I've said it I've said that for years on this show, that's how you book that kind of thing. You have the rivalry and then it comes together at a big show. Now, I understand why they're not doing it at WrestleMania, but Survivor Series, this is the time to do it. I always thought the bragging rights...
Survivor Series needs to have something.
Well, I always thought the bragging rights thing was stupid. Because it didn't make any sense. Like, Survivor Series is supposed to be bragging rights. That's the point of it. But, yeah, no, I think it's a really good development. I think for the first time in a long time, I'll actually care about Survivor Series. Really quick, speaking of WrestleMania, did you hear who Brock Lesnar's rumored opponent is?
No.
Do you want to guess?
I haven't a clue.
Okay. Who's the craziest opponent that Brock Lesnar could be facing?
Mitch Hedberg.
Who?
Mitch Hedberg. He's a dead comedian. That would be pretty crazy.
Okay, alright. Well, it's not that crazy, but Shane McMahon.
Oh. Why?
Yeah. That's what the word around the campfire is. Shane O'Mac versus the Brock.
Can I get some?
The Beast.
Can I get some petrol to find those people at that cat and fire? Christ, that's horrible.
Well,
That's
you know,
terrible.
considering the fact how bad the match with the Undertaker was, this won't be any better. So
Oh,
I don't know why they're going with it.
well,
That's what I've
unless
heard.
it's 5 minutes long, unless it's 5 seconds long, and it's just Shane getting murdered in F5. I don't like.
But even still, I don't understand why they would do that. You know, a much better,
So dumb.
a much better match would be Brock versus Rock, Brock versus Austin, Brock versus. You know,
I'd take Brock
Triple H
versus Braun
again.
Strowman at this point, to be honest, man.
You know, I don't know. Like, it just seems like a waste. It just seems like a complete waste of both guys. You know,
Like, it doesn't sound like anyone comes out better in that match.
no one wins. It's like the U.S. election. Everybody loses. You know,
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
It's the tagline for Alien versus Predator. Whoever wins, we lose. Like,
Oh well, but yeah, that's it, man. That's what's in our immediate future, if things are to be believed.
that campfire. But that campfire is very wrong about these things at this point of the year.
I hope so. But you know, last year we all had a bit of a laugh at the Shane McMahon Undertaker thing, and it turned out to be really true. So, you know, we have to take it seriously because that's terrifying if that's true.
Oh, I really hope that that's wrong.
Oh man. Anyway, really quick, I wanted to take a minute to talk about the hardcore DVD, the best 24/7 hardcore DVD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent. I've had a chance to watch the whole lot now, and it's one of those DVDs that I think everybody should really pick up if you were a fan of it. If you're a fan of the Attitude Era, if you're a fan of the hardcore division, it's everything you wanted. You know, it has really good interviews with Raven, Tommy Dreamer's the narrator, RVD, and Mick Foley. It's a lot of fun. It goes from the very beginning all the way up to the madness of the 24-hour rule, and I think it's just one of those fantastic DVDs that people should. If you're a fan of it, you know, I don't know why you don't have it. It's a DVD that I know myself and Gary. Anyway, we were mad for this DVD for a very long time. I love it. I think it's one of my favorite DVDs I own. Very close to the most recent Monday Night Wars DVD. Love that DVD as well. And he picks up
I
from,
still think the Rise and Fall VCW is my favorite.
That's a really good one as well. Like, it's arguably probably the best one. I recently got the new Brock Lesnar DVD, which I have not had a chance to look at yet, but I do have it. It was sent out to me, so I'm going to have a look at that, and I'll probably have some thoughts on it next week. Because if you want to get these, you can go over to www.homevideo.co.uk and pick it up there, because great selection, really good prices, and you know, I thoroughly recommend them. So I'll have some talks on the Brock Lesnar DVD. Actually, they sent me out a cool. They send you out a cool thing when you buy it. It's like Brock Lesnar's gloves. They send you a pair of gloves, like his
It's like fighting mitts.
his fighting mitts. Yeah, which is, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's fun. So why not? Yeah. So there you go. That's my review of the most recent DVDs. But it's crazy. Like the production value of WWE DVDs are always great. You know, there's always a lot to sink your teeth into compared to TNA DVDs. Now, I don't know if you have you actually been on the TNA YouTube page at all?
Not since 2010.
Well, right now they have all their DVDs up on their YouTube page for some reason. I know they do. They've had them up there for ages, and you can actually watch them. I've lost print.
Oh, it's adorable. Oh, I nearly would just go on there, actually. I've got a great idea.
But do you think they're doing it just to get the ad revenue?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that's what they're doing. That's great.
I didn't even think about that, actually, but that probably makes sense. YouTube, they're now the official partners with TNA Wrestling.
If they play their cards right, they could earn a whole $12.
A whole of that internet money? Wow.
Yeah.
You know what they should do? They should bring on PewDiePie. Doesn't he make like
Markiplier?
Don't they make like a couple of million? Maybe they could help buy TNA.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they want PewDiePie. I mean, he really likes having humble production values.
I don't know. Maybe that's what TNA could become. They could become like a Let's Play channel.
TNA Wrestling is they're trying to compete with Up, Up, Down, Down.
They're just playing old NES games. Like, what's going on? We're playing WrestleMania.
Hey, I'm Chris Sabin and I'm playing Streets of Rage.
Oh man, I don't know. Look, if TNA start doing that, we want our check, TNA, but we'll never get our check because
you never pay your employees.
Allegedly.
Factually.
No, but yeah,
it's a documented fact. You don't pay your employees.
Well, they're only a year behind paying those people for Bound for Glory 2 years ago, well, last year. So better late than never, I suppose. But oh man, what a mess. But no, you can check out all the TNA DVDs on our YouTube page now for free. So, but when you do look at them, there's the top 50 moments from TNA Wrestling, which is a DVD I actually own. I own a big stack of TNA DVDs. It's a good DVD except for one thing, right? There's the same guitar riff played over and over and over and over again. It's literally played probably 500 times. That's not an exaggeration. By the end of the DVD, you're like, I can't deal with this anymore. So yeah, I don't know who okayed that, but it does drive you insane after a while. You're like, why are you...
Jeff Jarrett.
Do you think it was Jeff Jarrett?
Oh yeah, of course.
But wasn't the thing with Jeff Jarrett that he couldn't actually play guitar and the roadie played the guitar and sung?
Yeah, exactly.
No, here's a question. Here's a question. You might know this, right? Forgive my ignorance. What is and I've interviewed Jeff Jarrett and I forgot to ask him the question. I should have. What is the Jeff Jarrett character?
His character in TNA.
The whole thing. Like what?
Okay, I can only speak for TNA character because I've avoided his run in WCW and WWE like the plague.
Well, I can tell you in WCW they didn't get into it too much, so he'll be fine. But
his character is he's a guy who he likes hitting people with guitars, and when he's not allowed to hit them with guitars, he'll use a cello. There's not really a personality to him.
No, okay, I know in WWE he was a country musician.
Yeah,
and he had the roadie, and who was Road Dogg. Okay, what happened then? That's the bit I never got. Like, he started being a misogynist and being mean to Deborah, and then having a feud with China, and then he went to WCW for a while and called everyone slapnuts. But he just always started hitting people with guitars from the country singer thing. But
yeah,
he never played the guitar. Like in WCW, I don't think he ever played guitar. In TNA, he sure as heck didn't play guitar. He just would hit people with them. I don't get it. I don't understand the character. Like, is he still a country singer? Is that what it is, or is it just because he's from Tennessee, or what?
I think he just hates guitars. He hates guitars.
He just wants to smash them all.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You know, this is a man who took time out of his busy schedule as NWA World Heavyweight Champion to travel over to Japan while Hulk Hogan was doing a press conference, and out of nowhere he wanted to tell Hulk how much he hated guitars, but he didn't really vocalize it in the right way, and Hulk ended up having a broken guitar over his head.
Yeah, to this day, that's still something that is the most random thing that TNA has ever done.
They've done some random stuff.
Exactly, and that's up there because Hulk Hogan was not signed. It was in Japan. It was just out of nowhere. It made no sense.
It's pretty much akin, for Jeff Jarrett. That's kind of it's akin to Nicolas Cage's moment in The Wicker Man, where he got to punch a woman in the face while wearing a bear costume.
That's actually pretty much what it was. Just completely out of nowhere randomness, all from the mind of Jeff Jarrett. Who, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed his run in TNA. Out of all the runs that he had, his music was awesome. He's a very knowledgeable guy on wrestling. I enjoyed the work he did with Globe Force Wrestling when that was a wrestling company not trying to sell me gold for some reason. You know, it's just, guys, this is why we do a show on wrestling. It makes no sense, and we try to figure it out every single week. But there we go. Tonight, Raw's going to happen. Brock Lesnar's coming back. No, sorry, Brock Lesnar is going to fight the returning Goldberg. Goldberg is going to be on Raw for the first time in, 12 years. Wow, I don't know. I'm looking forward to coming here on Friday and talking about this week, because already, man, it's insane. So, before we get out here, is there anything you want to plug? This show has been very, very free flow, but...
Yeah,
there you go.
No, I think I've kind of done my plugs for the week through just throughout the show. I think this week.
Cool. Okay.
Actually, now that I think of it, I do have one from the boys over at Mega Powers Radio.
Right on.
They have a new podcast up, and I'm blanking on the name. But it's called. And I'm really sorry that I'm going to be saying this on the air, but it's called WrestleBolics Radio, which is a great name.
Well, but, it's okay. It's okay. It's past the watershed.
Yeah. It's from a bunch of guys that I used to do shows with from there. If you have a chance, check them out. They're on Stitcher, iTunes, Feedburner, and anywhere else that you can get a good podcast going. So
right on. And remember, guys, we're on Friday, Saturday, and of course Monday. You can literally get it everywhere. YouTube, WViDesk 2016. There will be a direct link to the MP3 download. We're also on the WrestleView official SoundCloud, and if you subscribe to that, you can also through that and the subscription service that's WrestleView and Cray and Adam, you can also get it on iTunes. So you can pretty much get us everywhere. Yeah, the website's gone, but a lot of